Hey, you're now tuned in to UnderDawg Talk. I'm your host, Persevered, Jr., the underdog with a willing heart, and I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today we have Mr. Donald Martin. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How are you today?
I'm doing good, and I want to say this is our first live episode show. Thank you for everybody that came out. Thank you to Lightbound Studio for allowing us to have this and Union Campus to have this event here. Thank you for everybody coming out. So before we get into the interview, today's episode is sponsored by Christian Devon. That's my clothing line. It's me and my sons. We have t-shirts, hoodies. Actually, I have a shirt on right now. It says "Love me or hate me." You can get the official UnderDawg Talk podcast merchandise on the website ChristianDewan.com, and if you use the promo code UnderDawg Talk, you get 15% off. So we have Mr. Donald here. You are a comedian, but you are a clean comedian.
That is correct.
How did that come about? And were you funny? Like, did it start off when you were little, or is it something as you got older?
Well, first, it's been my whole family. From my grandma to my mother to my uncles, we always been funny. Like growing up in Flint, Michigan, growing up in poverty, all we had was laughter. So people would actually come over to our house on Saturdays to hear my grandma tell jokes, to hear my mom tell jokes, to hear my uncles tell jokes. So I've always been funny. I've been around funny people all my life. So this is just what I do. And as far as when it comes to the clean, I grew up faith-based, grew up in church, and grew up on Sinbad and some, but I always like all type of comedy. So I knew that in order for me to stand out, to be separate, I wanted to do it in a way where your 9-year-old can hear what I have to say, or your 9-year-old grandmother can listen to me as well.
Okay, so everybody is funny. So was there any actual comedians, or just people funny around the neighborhood?
Just people funny around the neighborhood. So when I get on stage, as I travel across the land, I take my grandma, my mother, my uncles, I take them with me on the road. So they, as far as not physically, but they are in my heart. And so when I'm on stage, you're meeting my grandmother, my mother, my uncles, not just Donald Martin.
So when did you decide that you wanted to be a comedian? Like, this is what you want to do, you don't want to do anything else? When did that start? What age were you?
Really, it's funny because that really started, I've been doing comedy since 2002. It's been 21 years. But it was just a hobby. It wasn't nothing I wanted to do. But I'd say last year, March 1st of 2022 is when, kind of give you my backdrop of my story. I was making over $200,000 a year in I was a finance manager for a dealership. Well, March 1st, because of my faith in God, March 1st on my way to work, God said, I need you to resign from your job. Making $200,000 a year. I come from poverty. I grew up in poverty. Big old house, basketball court in the backyard. I had it made. But on March 1st of last year, God said, I need you to resign from your job. That was the scariest thing I ever done. But I went into my employer and talked to my GM and told him, I gotta quit, I gotta resign. And my GM said, I know you do. He knew. Because even though I was successful in what I was doing and I love what I was doing, I knew that, let me tell you when I really knew. January 27th of last year is when I really knew it. When I got my W-2s and see how much money I made, I was like, there's gotta be more to life than that. So even in January, it took to March 1st, but even in that time frame, I began to, you can kind of see where I was leaning more towards the comedy than the finance manager. Because they was teaching me how to own my own dealership. So in the state of Indiana, at one time there was only 3 African-American owned dealerships. Now I call us the dealership. There's one in Mishawaka, Indiana. There's one in Corning, Indiana. And of course, there was one at Champion, but that just got sold. So I was in the 4th or the 5th African American dealership. They was training me how to do everything. 5-7 years I've been a multi-millionaire. But I knew my life was more than that. And my comedy is for the people. I do what I do because I love people. So I serve the people in my comedy, which now I'm doing motivational speaking. I'm an actor as well. So all of that was birthed out of me, the decision just to follow what God told me to do.
I love that. Yeah. Sometimes people hear God's voice and they don't listen to it. And then they'll go and went to the job, and then the job looked good, the money looked good, but then something would happen, and then you're like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And one thing I heard you say, you serve the people. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. As an entrepreneur, as a person that doesn't go to a 9 to 5, you serve people. In whatever form it is, if it's entertainment, if it's inspiration, whatever that looks like, that's what you do, and that's how you make it far, because that's what God will do as a servant. So you've been doing comedy for 21 years. I don't think people heard that. Like, you've been doing it for 21 years, and you just decided last year that you was going to go full-time with it. So it's a process. People don't want to trust the process. It's not like you just woke up, oh yeah, my grandma funny, my mom funny, I'm going to be funny, I'm going to go on the stage, and this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. So as you were going through that process, how were the ups and downs for you? Was there times where you were like, oh, I'm just sticking to my job, or it was like, I'm going to just keep this road?
Well, so because I got entrepreneurs out here, after you guys were introducing yourselves, I think one of the major things that a lot of things that we don't really cherish is longevity. Longevity is very, very important. Whatever you're doing, because like even in this interview, I want you guys to interact with me. This ain't about Donald Martin. This is about us because we all in this together. But longevity is what keeps you, longevity and also stability in entrepreneurship. So when I'm going up and down, I just had to hold on what I know to be true. Because when you go from a place in your life where you got $15,000, $16,000 deposited into your account every 10th of the month, when you go from that, when you don't know, one day you may make $200, and then you don't make anything for the rest of the month. So you gotta hold true to whatever it is that you call to do. You gotta hold true to it, because when you hold true to it, I'm telling you, just from my experience, the ups and downs, there's been dark moments, there's been moments where I felt like going back into the business. I felt like this ain't worth it. I'm 46, 47 years old, but then I would read an article or look at a meme or look at a TikTok where, was it Morgan Freeman? He didn't get his first big break until he was 49 years old. I'm 47. So I figured I got 2 more years, you know what I'm saying? Like, I at least got 2 more years to figure out. But what I'm saying is, it's like, when you hold to your conviction, that's my meat. That's my meat, that when it is dark, when it is feel like the walls are closing in on me, I use that as my meat. Like, you know what? If I can make $200,000 for somebody, if they pay me $200,000, how much are they making off of me? So that means they made millions off of me. So guess what? I gotta be good to me. So then I gotta figure things out. I gotta figure out what's important. I gotta figure out how can I make more money. Then I gotta connect with people. I gotta get with people. I gotta figure out how they doing it. How can I implement this? It's a lot of work. But then when you get that work, I'm eating 21 years. People say, oh, because my stage name is for show. Like, I travel all over the United States. I do a show at Martin University where I get 500 people to a clean comedy show. Clean comedy. Brought in David Mann, Mr. Brown from Tyler Perry. They work with some of the major, Matt Said Entertainer, all the major comedians you can think that you can meet. I've been there. Been in the same presence with them, the same atmosphere with them. But I understood their journey is not my journey. They can't get me where I need to get. It's going to take guidance, but it's going to take me to work. So I can encourage anyone, when you listen on Facebook, if you walking by, you hear it later, it takes you to understand, who are you? What do you mean? What's going on? I think one of the hardest things, and so I got a series called Jump Scared. I go across the nation telling business owners, I just spoke at Plainfield Chambers of Commerce. I speak to millionaires and presidents of millionaires, telling them how I jumped scared, how I left a $200,000 job. If I make $1,000 a month, that's just what I make. But I got to figure out how I can do more, but not so I can have more, but I can serve the people. I hope that
made perfect sense.
Because I love to talk, so don't pay me. But I need y'all, if y'all got questions, I'm gonna need y'all to help me, because I'm not gonna be up here talking all the time and you ain't got no questions. I know you got a question. No, you got a question. Okay.
But no, I totally understand what you're saying, because with the podcasting, like, I've only been doing it 3 years, not just the one that you have with the comedian comedy. But I started off with a phone.
Yeah.
Just the phone. And then I went to a laptop, and now I got a videographer, now we're ready to have a live show. So it takes, So it takes time, like you said. There's gonna be times where you're gonna feel like giving up. There's gonna be times where you don't make no money. And you still gotta keep going, because that's what you're supposed to do. When you understand your purpose, you understand why you keep going. Because you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose people around you. Like you said, your job will be like, some jobs might be like, no, you ain't about to leave, we need you here. But what you understood was, y'all paying me $200,000, but y'all making millions off of me. A lot of times people go to a job and they complain and they, I don't like this job. Well, guess what? Get up off your butt and do what you need to do for yourself. Because you're giving all your energy to this job, but then you upset at what the job do for you when you got a purpose, when you got something that you say is a hobby or whatever, but it can make you the millions and money that you need to help not just yourself, but your family and your community. And I think it don't matter what you do. You don't have to have a microphone or anything like that. Because I was listening to a Steve Harvey interview. He didn't get on TV till he's 38. Yeah. I know I look a lot younger than that, but I'm close to 38. So I got like a year to go to where I can be on TV. Like you said with Morgan Freeman. When I heard him say that, I was like, okay, I ain't too old. Because sometimes you do get to that point where you're like, dang, I'm 30 plus. I'm hitting 40. I ain't done nothing yet. But it's not about the journey. It's not about everybody else's journey. Because you might have seen somebody, they started when they was 19, Ben Rosen.
Yeah. And so with that being said, that's an excellent point. I learned this too. One of the greatest things that God showed me is there's never an arrival on this journey. Ever. There's never an arrival on this journey. And what that means is, because even when you're in a place where the lows, you understand, this ain't the end. But even when you're in the place of the highs, you gotta understand, that's not the end. And so that's what can keep you going, is understanding that there's never an arrival. So, for instance, you can go through where there could be a low moment. Then I'm just giving you an example of what happened to me this week. I'm in a place where it's like, what am I doing? Even in this place, I get a call. I met a gentleman, a director named Halo from Atlanta. I met him in November of last year, because I live in Atlanta, but I go back and forth. I met him in November. It was a rainy day. I got lost, but I met him at a networking. This is why networking is important. I met him at a networking for actors and directors. He calls me, today is what, Wednesday? He calls me Monday and say, man, I got this commercial. We've been looking for somebody to do a commercial. I remember you in November. I need you to be in Atlanta on Friday to do this commercial. November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 6 months later, what I did in November, so I say that to say, what you do now, you plant seeds now. You may not eat from it now. 21 years, I can truly say that I live a life, come from poverty, grew up on mother, single parent, welfare, all that. Youngest brother was, my older brothers was murdered, my older brother was murdered, been through all of that. So, but now I'm living a life where I get to talk to you, I get to talk to you guys. I get to talk to you. I get to interview. Like, this is surreal for me. I don't take nothing lightly because at the end of the day, I'm just doing what I love to do. And that's to serve the people.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I feel like we're going to talk to
No, but I feel the same way with being born with a disability. People looking at me different, treat me a certain way, and I got my own control. I got my own voice. I got my own microphone. So I got my own platform to do what I want to do and how I want to do it. Because when you look different, people treat you a certain way, they only want to limit you. And I'm more than whatever anybody else is doing because I'm unlimited. Because God got my back. And it's the same thing with you. Like, it's gonna be a journey where I wouldn't give up. Like I was yesterday, I was in pain, internal pain, and I was like, man, I can't wake up tomorrow and feel this way. But I woke up in a little pain, I still went through the day. I'm a teacher, kids, acting the food. I don't want nerves. I usually be at home taking a nap, but I knew I had to show. Like there's things that's gonna rock your day, but rock a moment of your day, but don't let it rock your day. Because if you let it rock your day, then that day might turn into a week, and that week might turn into a month, and then you might say, skip it, I'm gonna just give up and go back to where I used to be.
Because I've learned so much in my darkness. I've learned so much in my darkness. When you talk about moments, I've learned not to allow my moments to become my mountains. I learned from my moments not to become my mountain. Meaning, I'm going to have moments. I remember a time I was because I was homeless in Atlanta. When I got to go there, I was homeless. I had to live from place to place. I didn't have a place of my own. I'm sitting in my Explorer and I got my head, I'm crying because I'm like, why would you send me down here? Why would you tell me to quit my job? Why would you tell me to do all this? And I did all this, and I got no place to lay my head. God said, what do you want, dear son? Tell me what you want. I began to tell him what I want. And excuse me if I get emotional, because people see the success, but they don't see the darkness that you go through. Because when they don't see the darkness that you go through, when people see me in the street, when the young lady said, you becoming a superstar, and I appreciate, like that's surreal to me. But people don't see behind the scenes when you're dealing with your disability, when you gotta step outside of yourself. Because even in the moments, sometimes we allow the moments to become our mountains. And then when they become our mountain, then it's harder to move. So I told God, I cried. I was like, God, this is what I want, this is what I need. He said, okay. Is that what you want? Let's do it. Let's make it happen. And within 2 to 3 weeks, everything I said I wanted, I got. But I still have to be obedient. I still have to do what I need to do. I still have to be cordial. I still have to be nice. I still have to be positive. I still have to do the work. I still have to put in the effort. Even in the midst of my darkness, I know that at the end of the day, it will always be like this.
Yeah, that's like in my class. So we did a cocoon, butterfly. You know how it starts off in the cocoon, and the kids like, oh, we don't see nothing, it's ugly, and all the little stuff around it, it look nasty, and then all of a sudden, the butterfly, oh, it's beautiful, because you get everything you need in that darkness, because I've been homeless too. Like I was married, I had divorced, and I was homeless, and it's like, that's when stuff started happening. I'm like, God, really? I'm supposed to do this, and I don't even got a place to lay my head, or I gotta go to work and smile and be inspirational to these kids. It's like, how am I supposed to do that? But when you keep doing what God tells you to do, like you say, you gotta be obedient, you gotta have discipline. Like, there's gonna be times when you wanna give up, but you gotta have that discipline, that routine, and you keep going there and eliminating things around you, eliminating people around you, because if you don't eliminate the negative, it's gonna carry on, you ain't gonna be able to get to the positive of what you want. Because I've been there, I didn't cry. What's going on there? Like, what we got going on?
What we got going on, because like you said, some of my greatest comedy, some of my greatest sets has come from my wounds. Some of my greatest speeches have come from where, like I was somewhere, and I got mad at God because I was like, God, like, why are you using me like this? And I'm going through the divorce, I'm going through this, I'm going through a whole bunch of hell. Like, why are you using me? He said, because son, I never called you to be perfect. I called you to be prepared. So I use these nuggets that God gave me, and you may not be spiritual, you may not believe in what I believe in, but the principles never change. Some people get caught up in the faith and get caught up in this, but the principles are simply this. No one is perfect, but you are required to be prepared. If you're going to be in business, if you got, young lady says she got a mobile library, right? Bookstore, mobile bookstore. Did you just, was the bookstore just happen just the day you thought about it? No, you prepared for it. So once you start preparing, you gotta see yourself beyond where you at right now. You gotta see yourself beyond. If you can't see yourself beyond where you at, I'm telling you, you're gonna be stuck where you at. But also, what happens is when you in them dark moments and when you begin to share, you gotta be transparent enough to let other people know that the strength that I have comes from my darkness. The strength that I have comes from my faith. The strength that when you lose everything, you know what I'm talking about. When you lose everything, clothes, shoes. I went down to Atlanta, I had everything in my house. I had like $40,000, $50,000 worth of furniture. I blew money, $3,000 or $4,000 was easy to spend. Now you go and I'm scared to look at my bank account sometimes. Because if I see that minus in front of it, but I can tell you this much, out of all the things that I lost, physically, I got peace. It don't matter. There's nothing that happened to me that's gonna stop me from doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because what I'm doing right now, this is more than being on HBO and Comedy Central. Somebody's right here now. I'm saying something right now. You were saying something right now. That young man may not get it today, but when he's 23, 24 years old and he's facing a crisis, he can say, on May 3rd, I went to and seen a podcast, or I seen it on Facebook, and they told me that in your dark moments is when you become stronger. I remember that. So, the thing about me, man, I'm an open book. Because my goal, I know my purpose in life. My purpose in life is just to be that light. That's it. The money will come. The fame will come. But if I don't understand my purpose, I get caught up in the limelight. Because it's easy. Like when you're behind the scenes with a lot of these big time comedians, first of all, a lot of the comedians, they high. They strung out on drugs. Because they're afraid. A lot of these actors and these people, these singers you see, they some of the most depressed, insecure people that you can ever meet. Sitting in a room with them, they won't say nothing to you. It's not that they won't talk to you, but they're afraid to fail. And let me tell you, as an entrepreneur, if you want to be successful, you cannot be scared to fail. You cannot be. I don't care what you do. If you're scared to fail, you're in the wrong business. I'm telling you right now, if you're scared to fail, you're in the wrong business. I always remember this when I, at 19, now I ain't taking up too much time. I can talk forever, man, so you think, man, this is what I do for a living. And I just feel the spirit. I learned when I was 19 years old, I sat in Lafayette Square Mall, and I got my first job when I got out of college, dropped out of college, to help my mother out. When I got out, I worked for James Cash Penny. J.C. Penny. See, I know that's James Cash Penny. Because we had to take the little video and sit in a dark room and look at James Cash Pittman. He went bankrupt 16 times. 16 times. Now you understand, that's 1994 that I can remember that. That's 1994, I can still remember sitting in there, but guess what? The fact that I know that James Cash Pittman went bankrupt that many times, who am I? I got a granddaughter. So now, I gotta make sure when I leave this earth, and somebody say Donald Martin, and my granddaughter Leilani is walking around somewhere, and they say Donald Martin, that's my granddaddy. He sacrificed for me so everybody can live, because I do a lot of community work. And doing community work, you know, we did a drive for Flint, Michigan for the water, 2016 to 2018. I do a lot of community, I do mentor kids, I got a Class Clown Academy for teenagers and adults. So you can take my course for 4 weeks to learn, not just to do comedy, but confidence, and learn how to do icebreakers and things like that. So all the things that I don't do like here, I don't do that for accolades, I just do it because there's a need in our city, there's a need somewhere. So I just want to fill that need. So, you know, that's what I do, man.
And what I want people to take from is not just, excuse me, in business, but in life. You gotta be able to fail. I tell my son this all the time, because he thinks he's just supposed to win every game, he's not supposed to lose, man, every shot. It's like you got to lose where you win. Because if you can't learn from the losses, then you're not going to be able to win, because the loss is not really a loss, it's a lesson. So don't look at it as just business, or we talking about a job. Look at your life. Because you wake up and something might happen, it's a lesson. And if you don't learn from that lesson, God's going to give you that test over and over and over. And then you like, man, I've been going through the same stuff for 5 years because you didn't pass that test. God didn't gave you the open book, He gave you the Bible, He didn't gave you everything you needed, but you don't go after it. And then now you're like, man, why am I still here? Why is my bank account still like this? Because everything you were saying, I didn't look through all that. Like, I don't want to look at this bank account. I know it's about to or, man, did I make sure I lock my car so something won't get taken out? Because if it do, I might not be able to eat today. So I definitely understand the struggle, the journey of life. And for me, it's a little different because everything you go through, I go through, but I go through people judging, people looking at me. I got internal nerve issues that nobody knows. I wake up every day in pain. Nobody will know. I got a smile on my face and make people laugh. I'm sitting there, I just want to cry. I'm in pain, but you got to keep pushing because, like you said, your purpose is more than you. I want my kids to be like, oh, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog. Oh, that was your great dad. Oh, we can get in here for free. Where you can, oh, you need help with this program? Oh, I got you. So just like what you do with the mental and word, setting up a summer camp for kids to teach them podcasting, so they can have different avenues. Because everybody don't play sports. Everybody don't gotta be a rapper. Because listen, young people, listen, stop it. Stop rapping. We're tired of the same everything. Everybody's like, just stop that. If you're listening, please, I'm gonna make this a short clip. Because I be tired. Every kid want to rap, or every kid want to play sports. It's more than me. It's two black men here doing the total difference, and we're still making an impact and still can make the money. But people don't realize how much money you can make off podcasts, speaking, comedian, all that. And you can make just as much as everybody else, but you don't have to look like them.
Because like you said, because we don't know our identity, especially if we be real with our young people. One thing I understand about our young people, and this is what we gotta understand about young people. So when you see it on TV, and you see the mass murders and you see everything that's going on, this generation is a generation that love themselves. They're loved more dead than alive. I hope you hear what I'm saying. They're loved more dead than alive. Because if you ever follow, like my brother was murdered, I have a sense of, was my brother thinking about when we got murdered, like what happened? Did I cross his mind as he was dying? So I tend to, sometimes if there's a certain murder that goes on, I tend to look up their Facebook or their Instagram to see what did they do before they died. Did they know? But then I notice I go back a little bit more. There's no love for them, no likes, no nothing. But as soon as they die, all of a sudden their Facebook page, their Instagram page, their Snapchat, all that is, I love you, I miss you, I this, that, and the other. And I begin to understand. They get more attention dead than alive, so they don't mind dying. Even though they're not here, they do know they're going to get attention because they seen their homeboy get the attention as well when he died. And so they're willing to die. So when you talk about the rapping and all that, it's because they're willing to die because they know that's the only time I'm going to receive love, when I'm dead. And so that's where we come in. That's where you guys come in. I heard you talk about diversity. That's where young men come in. We're to be that extension. I'll go to a random barber shop, get my hair cut, and a young man to be in the chair. He'll leave out and I say, I love you. He'll turn around and look like, what did you just say? I said, I love you. They don't not used to hear that. And so I ain't no gangster. I grew up in the hood, I grew up in the projects, my brothers was older, they kept me from that stuff. But it's not a neighborhood in this city that I can go in and still have an impact. I don't need a grant for that. I don't need no permission for that. After this, I may go over to 42nd and Post and just hang out. I don't need this to do that. I don't need no, we gotta pass a law for me to do that. Because they need to understand, I'm just like you. The only difference between you and I is better decisions. Because it's like, my entrepreneurs got to understand, this life is a beautiful pain. It's a beautiful pain. It hurts. It hurts. But I can tell you this much, even though it's a beautiful pain, I can tell you this much. When I wake up in the morning, if God allows me to wake up in the morning, I know I'm doing what God told me to do. What? Like, really? Like, I can literally say I'm walking in my purpose. 95% of people is not walking in their purpose. So somebody right now is hearing me. You may be doing what you think that you're supposed to do, but that's not your purpose. And what today did was for you today, is waking up your purpose. So whatever you gotta do, whatever strategy you gotta have, it's there. But I'm gonna tell you what, money can't buy peace. Can't buy it. I had the money. I drove it. And this man wanted to tell you, when you working in the car business, you drove anything that was on the lot. I drove some of the nicest cars you could ever think of. Now, I'm driving I'm driving a brand new 2009 Kia Rio. Well, the door is jammed in. And I got a CD player. You understand what I'm saying? Where I used to drive a car, used to drive an Escalade that would massage you while you're driving. You almost fall asleep. But even though, because guess what? Even though I don't have them beautiful, flashy, nice things, that never gave me peace. This Kia Rio, I'm driving, singing. I get the road. I don't even have no digital whatever, like electric windows. I'm rolling it down. I'm getting some exercise while I do that. So if you're on the other side and you try to say something to me, I gotta go over here. But I'm at peace. I'll do it. Because I know I chose to do this.
Yeah.
Did you see we could ask questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I want you to come up here so you can, if you got a question, you're not scared, you come up here.
I want questions. Pick my brain, because I'm going to tell you, you better pick my brain now, because when I become this famous person, these meetings going to be thousands of dollars. Trust me when I tell you. I done been to some. Excuse my seat.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for folks who are uncertain what their purpose might be and how they might go about finding it? Does that make sense? Question makes sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
So that's an awesome question, because I get people tell me that or ask me that. One thing about it is your purpose a lot of times is linked to what's easy for you. Like, I'm a talker. I used to get whoopings for talking too much. Now I get paid to talk. So how you find out is you may have a list of things. I start off with, what do you like about you? Who do you see yourself as? What do you, am I making sense? Like what do I like about me? What do I enjoy? If I enjoy cooking, that's maybe what I need to do. Cooking for the homeless. Cooking for, or have your own restaurant. If I like exercising, my purpose may be to teach people how to exercise. So you gotta find out who are you. But once you find out who are you will figure out what's your purpose. Did that answer the question?
I have a question.
Yes. Come on up, man.
To that, it's something that you would do without somebody paying you. Like you said, I used to be in trouble for talking, but I love to talk and I love to inspire now, so that's what I do. So figure out what you would do if nobody was paying.
Yeah, but that's a great question. This young man, I know, man. That's your birthday party, man. Yeah, I get to really do now, but good to see you, man.
I have a question. How would you become a camera? Let's say if there's public speaking,
So how do I get comfortable? I talk to myself. Like I literally look, because you gotta understand, in this life, when you in success, there's always a failure. There's a double side to the mirror. There's success, but then there's failure. So I gotta look at my successful side and tell me, Donald Martin, you can do this. Donald Martin, this is what we're gonna talk about. Donald Martin, you are amazing. Donald Martin, you are an awesome father. Donald Martin. So I give myself, I cheerlead myself. And then when I do that, it allows me, when I get up, like I'm doing now, up here talking to you, I was practicing this in the car. Make sense? Did that answer your question? Yeah, so that's what you gotta do, man. Like, you gotta be your #1 cheerleader. You gotta, I'm almost at the point I'm about to give me some pom-pom. And literally, stand in front of a mirror, because there's times, like I done perform in front of thousands of people. Like, one thing about comedy, some of the famous comedians, J.B. Brown told us, he said the hardest 2 things to do was to hit a baseball and to tell jokes. Think about it, baseball, you had 3 out of 10 and you're a Hall of Famer. You be 278. You could be an F and still be a Hall of Famer in baseball. But in comedy, I gotta change your whole demeanor or your whole personality that day. You could have been dealing with the kids, dealing with your husband. You could have been, and all of a sudden you want to come here and now I gotta make you laugh? Because you mad at your husband? But I gotta make you laugh? That's tough. So I gotta tell myself, even in the months of thousands, or if it's a months of 10 people, I gotta tell myself, I was created to do this. I was created to do it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I don't know where to go, but
We good, but yeah, definitely talk to yourself. Like, I definitely do the same thing. I wake up, I got a certain prayer I got, is on my door, I got affirmations. Because you can go out in the world and people gonna say you something different. They're gonna tell you that you ain't the worth you are, you less than what you are. And sometimes you believe it, especially with this social media world. You go on there and you're looking at people on social media, what's going on? But like you said, behind the scenes, they depressed. They don't do stuff, just like us. So don't look at somebody else and think that they're not going through that, or they don't gotta wake up and talk to themselves, or they don't gotta wake up and pray. Because everybody that's successful gotta do some of the same things. We have any other questions?
I know y'all got some questions.
They just don't want to come up with that.
All right, that's all right. That's all right. It's gonna cost you thousands next time. So I do want to say that what you said, like I done been around major comedians. And I'm not gonna drop names, but I've been around a lot of them. And I remember being backstage with, I've been backstage with a couple of them. And I was just there to support, not to be on stage, but I knew one of the major comedians, he he's one of my mentors. So he allowed me to be backstage with him. And so every time I go anywhere, I ask him. We down in Atlanta at the State Farm Arena where there's 18,000 people arena. And I asked God, I said, God, why do you have me here? I go backstage and I said, God, why do you have me here? He said, I want to show you two things. I want to show you that the comedians that you look up to, first of all, they're human, and second of all, you belong here. I think that's one of the number one challenges that we deal with. We sometimes believe we don't belong in a certain arena. But you do. You belong. God said you belong. You was created to be here. You and I was created to do something great for this earth. And so when we understand that, it allows us to be able to move and operate in a way of joy. Because guess what? Like when I'm here, I stay with my son when I'm here. I'm staying with my son while I'm in and out. And that's the funniest thing in the world, because he's not the cleanest kid. But this is the thing, that's his place. I can't tell him to clean up. I can't tell him to wash the dishes. I can't tell him that, he's wrong. But God is even teaching me that. You can only control the controllables. You can't control that. So guess what? I find myself taking out the trash like I'm the son. I find myself washing the dishes like I'm the son. So guess what? By me doing them things, guess what now? He's starting to wash, he's starting to take out the trash. I can't tell him what to do, but I can show him what can be done. And no matter how successful I get, my number one, like you were talking about your son, I want my number one fans to be my children. Because if you interview any one of my children and say, well, how was your dad? They're gonna tell you he's silly, he's understanding, he's a listener, he's a disciplined area, but one thing is he gives us grace and mercy to give us a space to mess up. That's what my daddy is. And they know that. I can say that on live. And they ain't gonna come in and say, you lying, you capping. They gonna say that. Because it's the truth. But I do want to just continue to share. I know we gotta wrap up in a little bit. We gotta wrap up. Right?
Yeah, I got 2 more questions for you.
2 more questions, though. Yeah, ask some questions. I love to talk to you.
Yeah. So I need 3 tips for beginning entrepreneurs. Like the first question, you kind of on the fence. You kind of feel your purpose. You kind of think you're in there. What are 3 things once they listen to this, or if they listen to it now, they can go ahead and do to help them move the needle?
So you gotta come up with an exit strategy. Like if you're on a job, for me it was just cold turkey, I quit. That don't mean everybody needs to do that, because everybody got different circumstances. But you gotta come up with an exit strategy. That's number 1. Figure out how I need to leave. Number 2, after the exit strategy, which also is the second thing, what is my passion? What do I really love to do? What can I do without making, if nobody pays me a dime? What do I really like to do? What gives me joy? What gives me that when I get done doing it, I feel like I'm on top of the world? Number 3, exit, figure out what's your passion. Once you figure out your passion, then you gotta come up with a plan. You gotta be strategic in what you do. You gotta come up with a plan. How am I going to get, prime example, that door is right there. The outside is right there. Now, you sitting over here, I'm sitting over here. You got more time to get to the door than I do. But the whole goal is to get to the door. You gotta figure out how you gotta maneuver to get to the door. I gotta figure out how I need to maneuver to get to the door. Our strategy is gonna be different. But once I know my passion, once I know my plan, then once I know my plan, then I'm living in my purpose. So, tell them to exit, passion, and plan.
Yeah. I know, because I'm the same way. If you were interviewing me, I talk to
I know, I try to stop, but I love this, I love this.
I always ask all my guests, I need a quote. It could be a no quote, it could be a quote you live by, it could be a quote you saw, but give us a quote, for today.
Your association is your destination. That's it. Check your circle. The circle will let you know how far you're going. So your association is your destination. I refuse in my life now. You know, the major thing that people talk about now is called red flags. Everybody talking about, if you're a Scorpio, that's a red flag. Everybody talking about red flags now. Everybody's a therapist now. But we only deal with that on relationships as far as intimate relationships. But we need to look at that on entrepreneur, businessship, whatever. You can have them as a friend, but you don't need to know my entrepreneur, because you ever just told somebody something, you was excited, and you told them, and they was like, how you gonna do that? We ain't gonna do that. You? How that's gonna happen? And you gonna walk away with your head down like, I know I shouldn't have told them nothing. So then right then and there, no, your association is your destination. So then I've learned how to deal with everybody accordingly. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say this last quote. And being an entrepreneur, being in business, don't be personality driven. Be purpose driven. See, we get caught up in personalities. Sometimes, because, you know, we talk on the phone. The very person you talk on the phone every day ain't part of your purpose. It could be somebody look like different than you, believe in different things, have different sexual preferences, whatever. But they could be part of your purpose. Because when you get caught up in personality driven, I'm telling you, you're going to be disappointed. Because your family be the last one to support what you're doing. It's just true. I mean, you know, my family be like, they can't wait to get the new edition. They can't wait to get the new edition ain't coming out the next year. They already got their ticket. But as soon as I doing the family chat, I got a show coming up. We ain't ready for that. Christmas ain't came up yet. You just bought the edition. I just saw you. Because you can't get caught up in personality. It's all about purpose.
Well, I think this was definitely needed, not just for them like there's an audience in the room, but on Facebook, but myself. I appreciate you.
Yes.
I appreciate you, Ms. Van Horn, for setting this all up.
Can I give a shout out to you real quick? Ms. Van Horn been rocking with me for a long, long time. She's the type, Ms. Van Horn, she'll give me nuggets, and then be like, okay, bye. I'll be like, is that all you gotta say? You ain't gonna, she would just give me drop. She would drop seed. So I suggest, if y'all don't know this young lady, don't know her daughter, if y'all don't know her, you need to know her. Because she has so much information, and see, that's why it's important that you hear. This is set up for you guys. You just get back from Vegas? She was on Vegas on a yacht and everything. And now she here in Indiana on a Wednesday? Where it can be 30 degrees when you walk out of here? That lets you know how much she cares about you. So you got somebody in your corner.
Yeah, definitely shout out to her. That's somebody that y'all want to talk to, because just from one interview has led me to this, it led me to all different kinds of stuff that's coming in the future just by talking to her. And she definitely dropped some nuggets and was like, all right, see, talk to you later.
Yeah.
She's giving me the play, run the play. Shout out to videographer Antonio. He's sticking with me. Shout out to Brad, studio. And shout out to all y'all fans. Thank you. Shout out to my two friends, Renita and Fanny. Thank y'all. Like you said, support local friends all the time. There's so many people in the room I don't know, but I'm glad y'all here. But I'm glad that they came, and I love y'all for coming out. And thank you, everybody. And on that note,
Let me say, so I got my videographer here, Sansa Shire. She rocks with me. She's that's somebody who wants to be with you as well. She does videos for me. She does a lot of work. Her and her husband is very instrumental in my career. She's another one where you give her an idea. And she is, by the time you get done talking to her, she already got your house built. That's just who she is. So that's somebody you want to get to as well. There's a lot of networking here, and that's the difference between Atlanta and here. Atlanta networking, they just network a lot. We got a lot of things, we got a lot of stuff here in Indianapolis that we can do. So that's it, I'm done.
and shout out to myself.
Yeah, shout out to you. Thank you for having me over here, bro. Like once again, this means a lot to me, and I'm gonna tell you honestly, like real talk. You inspire me. I was actually supposed to be in Atlanta on May 1st. I was supposed to be in Atlanta on Monday, but I told them I can't leave until May 4th because I got to be on this podcast, and because you inspire me, and I want to say thank you from my heart.
And thank you. I'm proud of myself because I can
Yes.
away. And it's just good, like this is like my whole little production, so I can talk whatever I want to talk. But I ain't gonna hold y'all. Thank you for coming out, and like I end my show every time, peace, one love.
Peace and one love. God, so much.
I want to get a picture with people too.
Can we get one joke?
How can we get one joke? See, now you know how hard that is to get one joke.
A stream of jokes.
So I'm from the hood. Understand? I'm from Flint, Michigan. I'm from the hood. And a lot of people don't understand how the hood works. See, a lot of times people think hood is based on your location. But really your hood is based on the mentality. And I'm gonna tell you, mama, how you know you hood. You know you hood when you older than your uncle. I had to babysit my uncle. Uncle John, go to bed. How you know you hood, mama? You know you hood when you use dishwasher liquid as bubble bath. See, I just wanted you to clap. I didn't care if they laugh. I just wanted you to laugh. Did I do all right?
Yeah.
I did all right. All right. God bless. Excuse me, I gotta take this back to K&G.
I didn't hear that.
I said I gotta take this back to K&G. I bought this just for this. It's in the car. So don't be taking too many pictures because I gotta take this back. Say it didn't fit right on. Oh, you need a handshake. That's how I know. That's how I know.
They came in, they didn't introduce themselves, so we'll start over here. Stand up, say your name, your company, and what you may be looking for.
My name is Tashana Mills, and I'm here on 3 businesses, but just kind of still learning because you're always learning. So actually, my sister-in-law brought me here to tell me about this yesterday. So it is a pleasure to be here and I'm more business consulting. I actually don't have business cards with me, but just blessed to just be here and hear the message and get a chance to know. Nice to meet you.
So, anybody that doesn't have a business card, again, put that word in there. I'll actually download Time Hello. That's a business card on your phone. There's a lot of business cards, but don't be caught out. In other words, always be prepared for an opportunity, right? Okay, so always download a digital card now if you don't have those. So that's Hi Hello. Go to the app and download Hi Hello. And that's just one of the great several out there. They're free. They're free. I'm Regatta. Do taxes. We've been doing taxes for 32 years. I'm off of Emerson and Mission Street. It's mainly my husband's business. I help. I do own a few properties, so I'm also in realty. I manage a lot of properties in Annapolis. What else? And I homeschool 8 kids. So that's a lot of fun. I'm learning so much elementary stuff that I didn't know. So that's a lot of fun. And I happen to just see this event last minute. Director over here. I've never been in this area. So I'm glad I made it. Glad to always see beautiful people here. And I have my business card. If you guys have any questions about business, small businesses, big businesses, do everything like this. Thank you. So I'm going to step up.
My name is Miss Renita, and I would like to ask if anybody know any self-publishing information. Because I wrote a children's book. Did you buy?
I actually use children's book because I'm a grandmother of 4.
You?
Yes, it's called the Grandma Chronicles. I'm super excited. I have 2 1-year-olds, a 6-month and 3.5-month-old.
But I would love to assist you with that because you definitely, I always tell clients to not go through a publishing company because honey, you're gonna sell your book at $20 and you're gonna get 15 cents per book.
I'm sorry for that, but my business also is called Dramatic Play. I do small events, photography, and also engagement. I like to do family engagement activities. So that's what my book is promoting: family engagement, literacy, mathematics, and stuff like that.
My name is Fanny Kruger, and I'm the executive director for the Academy for Young Achievers. When I started, it was the school that only had like 17 kids, and it's now over 120. The point of the school is to give our phase a chance to actually teach kids that look like us and really be inspired by the children and have them learn every day and engage every day. Ms. Renita is my curriculum specialist and engagement specialist there, and I'm here to just support Eric. I've been his friend since we were kids. Actually, we used to go to the same church, so I've seen him actually start this podcast, like he said, on the phone and planning with him, and I even joined him at one time being his co-host, and to see him and just to see God just bless him with this now and just know he's going to go to something more. I'm just really excited to be here and witness this. But I would love to speak to anybody, especially you two ladies, with your bookmobile and your store, your bookstore. I actually had a book fair at my school, and it was a total success. The parents loved it, and the kids loved it even more. And so we do things like that, especially since summer is coming out. And so I definitely will reach out.
You want to introduce yourself? I want to introduce yourself.
My name is Nikki Johnson, and I own McReynolds Transporting, and I have a Airbnb.
All right, I'd like to have my kids here, Roya, to my daughter. Want to introduce yourself?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you everyone so much for coming out. My name is Roya Garner, and I am a trademark and entrepreneurship attorney. So I work with small business owners and creatives to legally protect your business, brand, and legacy. So all of our authors, creatives, photographers, videographers, you want to make sure that you have your creative assets protected and also learn to leverage it. So that is what I do. Thank you so much for coming.
Anthony.
I'm Anthony. I'm the little old man. I get you where you gotta go in style.
Ron Gardner, and I'm the host with Ron Gardner. I can do top car reviews and also have indoor series. I just did one with Miss Krista Anthony. She has a major foundation and we help spread awareness for a brand new business.
And we encourage you when we have networking events, if you got teenagers, again, we read the book and it says train up a child, right? So don't be afraid to bring your kids out because it's time to train up a child. We got homeschool right here. So I want you to talk about, are these your 8 kids or, can you talk about your choice, why you chose to?
Why I chose many reasons. I mean, look at the school shootings. They got all these books that they're forced to study that has nothing to do with us. I mean, I could go on and religion reasons as well. So, I mean, there's so many reasons why I chose that. I get to be with my kids. I get to also build their character and work on their heart and not just their behavior. So, you know, I'm thankful that God allowed me to be able to stay home and do that. And of course, I do have a lot of business going on within that, so it's been a blessing and a great learning experience for me.
I'll say that is probably the hardest job. Eric, you were the teacher.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to her because I deal with these babies on the daily. And I know how it is to having your own kids. Because I know my son. I don't know if I could be his teacher because we be fighting. Yeah, we definitely would. So before y'all get like moving and all that, oh, go ahead.
Can I just give a shout out to Ms. Van Horn and her team. I came to her last session, was it April? And I was literally in tears. I was in tears with my business and my situation and that type of thing. Just within a month's time, Ms. Van Horn connected me with a couple of different people, and I signed $1 million contract last week.
Oh, sir, can we take a picture up here?
Yeah, take a picture. Now, you better take a picture because it's going to be worth millions. Tell you right there. When you see me with, who's the big talk show now? Jennifer Hudson and
UnderDawg Talk.
UnderDawg Talk. There it is, all right.
You said, where's Renita? Where's Renita?
Come on.
She's the camera person.
Come on. Okay. Come on, Older Mills.
Older Mills. Renita, I need you. Renita.
Okay, I'm coming.
Thank you.
I am, I'm just.
No, keep up that.
Sears, come on.
Yeah, I got my iPhone. Don't come for me.
KMH. Goodwill. It's Goodwill. Trust me, I've heard of the Goodwill.
Your friend, ain't that your friend?
No, sir.
It's all about longevity. It's all about that, all right? So I need y'all to understand.
I'm the underdog with the heroic heart. I'm Eric Jones Jr. I have to keep pushing for my kids. If I give up, what's that leave them with? Nothing. I have to understand that it's bigger than me. That it's not about me when I wake up and go to work. It's not about me when I'm reading and educate myself. It's not about me when I'm practicing my speeches. It's not about me. It's about my family.